You guys are definitely getting your money's worth out of this conference. There's been some pretty good talks and stuff. This is not that. This is the title, Next Generation Agent Architectures with MCP. That was like the marketing one. This guy over here came up with that. This is really what I want to talk about, is like, why are agents so hard? I think MCP makes it easier, okay? So I'll tell you some stuff about me. Okay, so I'm the co-founder at Acorn Labs. We do crap in the AI space. I'm the technical guy. I'm not going to sell you any products. If you care about running MCPs in the enterprise, talk to that guy over there. Previously, what I did, I co-founded Rancher and I created K3S. If anyone's used K3S, that's kind of my style, small, simple things. But I very much have a perspective, like, I really much think from like automation, orchestration perspective. I love agents, the idea of doing like autonomous work for you, not so much like interactive chatting with things. So my perspective on this is a little bit different because I'm always have this end goal of how do I automate? I don't really want to talk to AI as much as I don't want to talk to people. I build the cloud on X. You can follow me, it helps my ego. I build the cloud. You can see like my handle has cloud. I'm already old and antiquated. I should update it to AI, but you know, that's my brand. So basically, if you follow me on X, it's like, I really want tech to be easy. I get an exciting idea. I want to try it out. I fail miserably at it. I get super frustrated. I complain on Twitter about it. That pretty much sums up everything. If you see me online, I just complain nonstop about everything. I don't actually hate everything, but I will tell you I hate everything. So that's just what I do. I just complain about everything. Basically, I just try a bunch of ideas. And so this is one of those. Okay, so also I don't like slides. Okay, so what I want to talk to you today is about agent architecture. So this is from Anthropic. They have a great, Anthropic has a really good guide for building agents. OpenAI does too. The architecture is kind of like consolidated and it makes sense. And this is pretty much it. And this is actually really, really good. Like the only things that are kind of missing here is like maybe guardrails, or the LLM has some instructions. But for the most part, building agents is not that hard conceptually, but in practice, it's really difficult and it drives me nuts. Somehow this pretty little diagram turns into just like a mess of Python code. And I don't know why. I don't know why it's so difficult. I'm a Go developer. Maybe that's why. Like, I don't like Python. And so it's like, I get in there, I just get super confused. Nothing makes sense. I don't know where the layers are. And it's like, the only thing that's worse than Python is like a Python framework. I have to figure out the framework. So the thing is like, I've been fooling around this AI space for like the last year, and like this architecture really makes sense. If we can get people to write code that kind of match these blocks, it makes sense. So the cool thing that's come around is we have MCP. So MCP standardizes this portion here. I wish I had time to go in depth to talk about how the LLM actually does tool calling. It's so beautifully simple. Like, it just basically outputs some text that says, hey, you should go call that tool and give me the result of it. It's actually under the hood super simple. Like, we make it so complicated with all this stuff. But there's got to be this middleman of like read that text output and then call the tool to get the tool response, right? And so that's what MCP solves for us, is like, it's this middleman to connect these two things. So this is like what we're seeing right now, is this explosion of like, it's kind of like traditional software engineers are like, hey, I can write code to hook up to LLMs. Like, this is super exciting. We're seeing this explosion in the MCP space. But if you start looking at this, you realize like, well, in the rest of this diagram, it's like, well, retrieval, it's technically just really a tool. Like, the way most people are doing kind of like retrieval now is the LLM decides to go look up or whatever. So it's pretty much a tool call. And then you look at memory, you can pretty much do that with the tool call also, right? Like, I think open memory, they have an MCP. It's like everything's a tool call. So then this is where it gets really exciting. And David alluded to this or showed it. This is a not used function of MCP really at all. But if you look at sampling, well, sampling basically does like the LLM portion too. So you start to see it's like, oh, well, I can use sampling to do the AI portion too. So like, your architecture just starts looking like, it's like, boom, it's just MCP, right? So it's really cool because you can basically put together all these components. Like, it starts giving me these little components where it's just like insert code here and I can build an agent, all right? So then you have all these like agentic patterns. And again, this is also from Anthropic's guide or whatever. All these agentic patterns, like, honestly, like, they're useful patterns. You should understand how this works. But this is just code. There's nothing fancy about it. It's just code. Like, you can do workflows. That's just visual coding. Like, it's just code. This is not actually like agentic because you're deciding the next step or whatever. So this is code, right? And so what's code? Well, code's a tool, right? So it's like everything I can just do with tools and whatnot. Okay, so now I want to get to actually like showing some of this stuff. Oh wait, that's the file notes. Okay, let's see if this is gonna work, okay? Go back, boom, right, okay. So I first wanted to show you guys sampling. I wanted to make sure you guys understand how sampling works. If you haven't seen the inspector, this is an amazing tool. Hopefully anyone, you guys are all building servers, so I'm sure you've all used it. So here, I gotta increase my brightness here. I can't see the screen. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is I just gotta, let me go to like presentation mode. Presentation mode here. Right, okay. So here, very simple, fast MCP server. I tried to do a lot of this in TypeScript because I'm like, so many people are writing TypeScript. Oh my gosh, it's like so much more difficult. Like the Python stuff is so nice. And I just told you how much I hate Python. See, it's like, okay, so what I wanted to show you is just so you get a basic idea of like fully understand sampling or whatever. So what happens is I've written this tool. You know, so all this is just going to do is echo. So if I go back here, list the tools, call the echo tool, say hello, right? Boom, it gives you a result. Okay, all right. So now we just know we have a tool, right? So the cool thing, there's in this tool, there's this extra parameter here, context. Context gives you access to kind of like the bidirectional nature of the protocol. Most people don't use this or know about it. But in here, there's a very simple, like what I can do is just take this prompt. Let me see, result, wheat, and then result text strip. Okay, so the idea here is what I should do is I should call the tool. The tool is gonna call back to the client and try to do sampling, which is like just the AI completion. It's really just like, it has a format that really looks like chat completions, very similar, a dumbed down version of it. So if I go, this is stdio, so I have to restart, but okay, clear, just list the tool. So I should be able to say hi or hello, run this tool. Okay, so you see the sampling popped up? Cool. So what happens is, so now that the client is basically sending a request, sorry, the server, this gets super confusing. It'll get even more confusing when you start seeing more of the stuff I stitched together. But so the server is sending a request back to the client, this create message, and it's sending the content. So you can see here, it's just an array of content. Messages, sorry, it's an array of messages. And you can do like a user and assistant and whatnot. And then since this is like fake, this is the client just simulating, I can then just like give what the response is and then approve that. Most likely this failed because it typically times out. It's like I have to do it faster. Okay, let's see if it worked. Okay, yeah, right. So hopefully you guys are gonna get this whole thing. So it's like, so the cool thing now is I can pretty much do like any AI stuff. So the problem I ran into is like, no clients support this. So I went and wrote one. I created this little project. It's called Nanobot, just so I could try out this idea. So Nanobot, YAML. So basically, so with this, what I can do here is, here, let me just like copy one. I'll show you how this works, because I don't want to mess up the, okay, so what we're gonna do, we'll remove all of that crap there. And yeah, okay, so you try to imagine what's going on. So I need a client that supports sampling. So I wrote this dumb little thing called Nanobot. So now basically what I should be able to do is say like Nanobot run this file here and see what it does. Oh, sorry, echo. We're gonna call this like, we'll call it like hello world. So I'm pretty good at doing demos that fail spectacularly. Okay, so this is supposed to call this tool. Okay, so now let me try this again. Okay, hello? Yeah, okay. So basically now I've just built a dumb agent. What did I say? Okay, but you realize how cool this is? This is a tool that is an agent, right? So I can now basically now take an agent and put it inside of a tool, right? But so if you start looking at all these different patterns, like if we go back to that slide that I had of all these like different agentic patterns or whatever, like what I was saying is like, well, that's really just code, right? Like I can just call this thing, get the output, call this thing, get the output. So I took this idea and I'm like, hey, let me try the Agents SDK from OpenAI. It's actually really good. Highly recommend it. Very good design, architecture, everything. It's very good. So I took that and said like, well, what if I just basically re-implement that as MCP? Like what would it look like as MCP? So again, like if you look at like so they had this research bot example. So I took that research bot example. So this is just all ripped off from their code or whatever. So what I did was I just tried to copy exactly what they did. So I designed, so we'll go here, this agents, where basically I designed the planner agent, which that guy is gonna plan queries, I guess. Then I defined one more agent, which is like the instructions for the GPT, this is a search one. This will actually use a tool to search. And then this one is using like O3 Mini to write the response, right? So this is defining like my 3 different agents that I want to do things or different tasks. In this research bot, what it will do is, well, here's the code. So again, this is TypeScript. I was saying this is way less readable than the Python. But you can see here, basically there's a helper function like that's just doing the sampling, but it was too verbose in TypeScript, so I put it there. But you can see what this is doing. So this is the tool. I just created a tool called research and I give it a prompt. And so that prompt is calling the planner. It gets the result, like the queries. It iterates through those queries, right? Gets the result. You can do this in parallel if you wanted to. I had it in parallel before, but then the output gets all garbled and whatnot. So I get the results of all those, aggregate those together, and send it to the agent, right? So this is what I'm saying is like, I just want things to be simple. Like this shouldn't be that hard, right? Like I know we get excited about complexity and we get paid for it or whatever, but it's like, if you look at this as like, it's pretty darn simple. It's like just a bunch of YAML because the agents are declarative, like the way I did it was declarative because to be honest, like agents are pretty much just declarative. Agent is pretty much instructions and tools in a model. That's pretty much an agent. And then you give it some input, right? And so you can see like the amount of code and whatnot in here is like, it's nothing. It's like really nothing. And then I went through and like, oh, let me try to do like a browser use thing. This probably won't work. Let's see what happens. It's always fun to do this live. Oh wait. Nanobot examples, OpenAI, okay. Nanobot, run, yeah, so I'm gonna do this. So, just saying something like this. Go to ebay.com and search for, I don't know, diamonds. All right, let's see if this works. Oh wow, it's running UV and stuff. Oh yeah, look. Okay, so this was like, I'll be amazed if this works. Oh wait, I have to accept all the tool calls. Oh yeah, anyways, it's super slow because it's computer use or whatever, but you see like it went to ebay.com, it'll eventually, I have to say yes to all the crap, all the tools, right? So like this thing here, so if you look at this, like what I did here, again, tool calling is just super cool. Like the way computer use works in general is like, it's just a standard tool call signature. So like this is basically the tool that I wrote for this. And it's just using Playwright to create a thing. So it's like, this is whatever, like 130 lines of code. And in here, there's like an agent that I defined in this YAML. There's not much. But like, it's like, this stuff is just like, it's just, I don't know. Once I saw MCP, it's just like this light went off in my hand. It's like, hey, I can just put these things in these different buckets, and it suddenly just becomes very, very simple. Oh, did it actually do something? Oh, it killed the browser. Whatever, yeah, whatever, it's not very good. So then like the thing is like, then I was fooling around with more where it's like, okay, what if I just wrote like a little like vibe coder type thing? Because like I was trying to think, it's like, okay, well, like this is simple and cool, but like what are the things that I can't do? Like where would it fall apart? Where are the flaws? And like one of the things I was thinking about was like dynamic instructions, like because I just did this declarative, because anyone who's written in a real world agent, it's like you do all this prompt templating for the system template and all this stuff or whatever. But then there's a cool thing is like, oh, well, I can just use prompts for that. Like MCP servers have prompts. So like in this like dumb little example I had here, I just write like some prompt and I can dynamically get information. So it's like, oh, that's a nice little thing to dynamically generate. So it's like, I just seem to basically have like all the primitives I kind of need to be able to do this. And so the cool thing is, so with this like, so now you can basically take all these MCP servers, can put them together, write a little tiny bit of code, and you have this agent. If you start looking at like OpenAI Codex or all of these async coding agents and whatnot, if you look at them, they're actually super easy to build, like not like in a full-scale product like they did, but like if you just want to do crap like that yourself, it's like, imagine taking something like this dumb little nanobot that I wrote, where it's like this little vibe coder here thing I did, basically I just gave it the file system, MCP, and I gave it a command that it can run, or a tool that it can run commands. And this works surprisingly well. It works basically kind of as well as like Claude Code or Codex Code or whatever, those CLI ones. So it's like, you can give it like the GitHub tool, you can give it whatever the heck you want or whatever. So you can write this like little script, because the way I wrote this for this nanobot thing, oh, I think I did it here, is you can just like one shot, like do a prompt. So imagine on a GitHub workflow, like an event fires off, you run this little prompt or whatever, it can do whatever the heck it wants, and then it will basically create a PR or whatever. It's like, these things are like, I just don't think it's that hard. Like I think it's getting way easier. And I think MCP is kind of like just like this magical thing to help us traditional engineers figure this crap out. So yeah, that was my ranting talk. I'm super excited about MCP. I'm just fooling around. I've had a lot of fun with this. Just a couple, let me see, final notes here. Let's see. So basically, I really do think it's going to get really easy to write agents. Because it's like the stuff that I'm doing, I know this is like a quick demo, but I've actually been writing these agents for like the last year or whatever. It's like, it's not very far off from the real thing. Like the real thing is like, it's all the scaffolding around it, but that's traditional engineering. It's like the models are there and they're pretty darn good. And so it's like, if you have these simple patterns on how to integrate this, you just got to do a bunch of traditional software engineering stuff, but we all know how to do that, hopefully. So yeah, so I really do think, like people say 2025 is going to be your year of the agent, and I really do think it will be, and I think MCP is going to kind of enable this. These are just random things. It'd be really nice if create message had a JSON schema output. I didn't really show that in here, but it's like, if you're trying to do these workflow patterns, you need to get the output of sampling in a structured form to deal with it in code. Distributed tracing in general is just a pain, and it'd really be nice if it was just built into the spec where they carry, because when you start seeing more of the crap that I was doing, it's like a tool does sampling, the sampling calls a tool, which then calls, it's like, it can start getting really crazy, and it's very hard to track the flow. So it'd be very nice part of the spec if it just did that. But anyways, you can go to nanobot.ai and you can try out this crappy tool that I wrote. I don't care if you use it or not, but I just had fun with this. So that's it, bye.